For years, we accepted the dogma. We were told that Gwyn was a hero, and that linking the fire was a noble sacrifice. We walked like sheep to the slaughter, giving our souls to the flame, because we thought it was the right thing to do. But deep in the ruins of Drangleic, one man refused to play by the rules of the gods. A cursed scientist, a brother of kings, a being who locked morality in a laboratory, and unearthed the darkest secret of the entire franchise. His name was Aldia, and what he discovered was not a cure for the curse. It was something much worse. He discovered that the entire existence of humanity was built upon a beautiful, cruel, and eternal lie. Today, we step into the laboratory of madness. Today, we break down the law of Aldia, the scholar of the first sin, and understand how one man changed the rules of the universe to give us true freedom. Before he became a monstrous entity of roots and fire, Aldia was a man of flesh and bone. He was the brother of King Vendrick. Together, they were unstoppable. Vendrick brought the sword, Aldia brought the mind. Together, they built a glorious empire over the ashes of the past. Drangleic, but their empire had an expiration date. The undead curse. The flesh of their subjects began to rot, and the kingdom was on the verge of collapse. While Vendrick sought military solutions, Aldia took a much darker path. He locked himself in his mansion, a place that soon became a slaughterhouse of science. Aldia did not experiment out of cruelty, but out of absolute desperation. He used giants. He experimented with human souls. He crossed every ethical line. He even tried to recreate the ancient dragons, beings that existed outside the cycle of fire. He wanted to understand the very fabric of life and death. He wanted to know what the curse really was. And it was there that Aldia crashed head-on with the truth. To understand Aldia's discovery, we must unlearn everything the first game taught us. We thought that being human, and having sanity, was the natural state of the world. Aldia discovered, it is exactly the opposite. The first sin was Gwyn's act of linking the first flame. When the fire first appeared, it brought light and dark. The gods took the souls of light, but humanity was born from the dark soul. Therefore, the natural, original, and immortal state of humans is vacuity. Humans are meant to be hollows, beings of pure dark, who do not need the light to exist. Gwyn was terrified that the age of gods would end, and the age of men would begin. So, Gwyn committed the first sin. He linked the fire, and placed the dark sign upon humanity. Gwyn gave humans an illusion. He gave them beauty, memory, and empires under his light, but he turned them into slaves. Humans became the fuel to keep the gods alive. When the flame fades, the illusion breaks, and the curse is not a disease. It is simply humanity, returning to its true, natural form. Aldia realized that all of history was a golden cage. How do you destroy a cycle that has been repeating for eons? Aldia understood that as long as humans chose between linking the fire or letting it die, they were still playing by Gwyn's rules. If the fire dies, the cycle will eventually bring a new spark. It was a cursed wheel. So, Aldia made the most extreme decision. He decided to separate himself from the world's logic. He threw his own body and soul directly into the first flame. Not to feed it, but to hack it, to merge with the very concept of fire and transformation. The experiment destroyed his humanity. His body dissolved, and he was reborn as a grotesque mass of roots, stone, and eternal fire. Aldia became the scholar of the first sin, a being outside the cycle. He cannot die, because he is bound to every bonfire in the world. He became a timeless witness, waiting for someone capable of making a different choice. His brother Vendrick did not have his strength. When Vendrick realized his queen, Nashandra, was just a fragment of Manus trying to use him, the king broke down. He fled to the undead crypt, letting himself become a mindless hollow, rather than being a puppet of the light, or the dark. And then, after countless eras, you arrive, the bearer of the curse. Throughout your journey, Aldia does not attack you. He appears from the bonfires, questioning you, forcing you to think. He observes you defeat the old lords, and he sees you claim the crowns of ancient kings. He is testing you, and at the end, Aldir stands before the throne of Want, as your final trial. This battle is not out of hatred. It is the final exam of humanity. Aldir needs to know if your will is strong enough to bear the weight of the absolute truth. When you defeat him, he does not die, but he smiles in the shadows. You have proven yourself. And here, Dark Souls 2 changes history forever. The game presents you with the throne, ready for you to sacrifice yourself. But thanks to Aldir's guidance, and because you bless the crowns to become immune to hollowing, you make the most revolutionary choice in the saga. You turn your back on the throne. You walk away into the fog. You do not link the fire, nor do you start a traditional Age of Dark. You choose to walk into the unknown, alongside Aldir's spirit. You choose the third way, a path completely outside the lies of the gods. Many say that Dark Souls 2 does not matter, but the truth is, without Aldir's heresy, the ending of the trilogy is impossible. Aldir was the one who planted the seed of doubt. He taught humanity that the eternal sacrifice was a lie. When we choose to usurp the fire in Dark Souls 3, to absorb the flame, break Gwyn's cycle, and become the Lord of Hollows, we are executing the master plan that Aldir discovered in his lonely mansion. Gwyn created the world with a brilliant lie, but Aldir, a simple human obsessed with the truth, preferred to become an eternal monster, rather than let humanity live in ignorance. He broke the cage, and he taught us that sometimes, to find true freedom, you must have the courage to turn your back on the throne.